Welcome to Plantish Live. I'm Nina Curtis. My co-host Sebeq Randall and I go live Tuesdays 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here we are for another Tuesday Plantish Live. Welcome in, everybody. Please share where you are joining us in from. Let's see how we go. Welcome everyone coming in. I'm excited that my co-host is actually going to be I don't want to say guest speaker, but he's our guest speaker. He recently traveled through Okinawa, Japan, vegan in Okinawa. He visited one of the blue zones, five, now six regions where the longest lived people have been recognized, centenarians living their best life, and he's going to drop all of the deets. Hello, Chef.
Hi, happy Tuesday, Chef. How are you?
Happy Taco Tuesday. I am doing good because if I show up, that's half the battle. How are
That's it.
you?
I'm settling. I'm still landing from Japan. Like
Yeah,
my spirit is still there. I had such a phenomenal time, and I can't wait to just talk about my experience there.
I love it. Now you've been back. When did you get back? Has it been a week total today?
It's so I got back. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. I
Okay.
landed. Yeah, I got back
Wow.
on the 6th. Yeah, no, maybe a week and a half. The time difference because we're 13 hours ahead over there. So coming back was like going through a time warp. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening right now? So I'm not able to keep up with the dates, but it should be
I
two
get
weeks
it.
because I flew back in on a Wednesday. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I kept, looking at the dates like, how long has it been? It felt so much longer than the actual time,
yeah.
which can happen. What made you decide on visiting Japan and Okinawa specifically?
Okinawa specifically, so I have a brother over there. He's lived
Okay.
over there for the last going on 5 years, and he's said, "You need to come over. You need to come and visit. You need to come and visit." And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna come eventually." And I was just putting it off, and then eventually, I kid you not, one night I was in deep contemplation about a few travels that I wanted to make this year. And I was just going back and forth in my head, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then something came up, and I was like, nah, I'll put it off until the later part of the year. And so, I kid you not, 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I just had like this urge to just book the flight. So I booked my flight to Okinawa, I booked a flight to Puerto Rico, and I took care of my accommodations to Puerto Rico, all in the span of 10 minutes. And
Wow.
it was so synchronistic because one, when I booked the flight, it was an amazing deal. I called my brother the next morning. I'm like, "Hey, I'm coming." He's like, "Are you really? Okay. Wow, cool." And I was like, "You would never guess how much I paid for my ticket." And he was like, "Wow, that was a steal, especially for the airline that I flew." So it was just like one of those moments where you just had to just take that leap. So yeah, that's how it ended up there. He's been there for 5 years. Decided randomly one night, it was just time, and it was time.
It was time. I see the fam coming in, Chef. Welcome, everyone. Please drop in the chat if you've visited Okinawa yet. I'm sure by the time we finish this conversation, it may be on the top of your bucket list. So, Chef, how long did it take to get there?
Okay, so for me, it took me roughly 26 hours. There were a few delays because, unbeknownst to me, I'm a very, a strategic person when I'm traveling. I like to have all the details laid out, but this was one of those trips where it was like you're traveling to a foreign land, so you just have to release. My motto for this trip was release to receive. So, while I knew exactly where I was going, where I was flying into, I didn't know the logistics of the airports and everything. And unbeknownst to me, there was actually a typhoon happening when I was flying and landing, so there were some delays. So, factoring all of that in, I went from South Carolina to Chicago, which took roughly about 2.5 hours, and then had like an hour layover there, and then I went from Chicago to Tokyo, which was another 12 hours. That was probably the roughest stretch ever because I took like two naps. The flight attendants are waking us up like, hey, would you like some tea or would you like some water or anything? And I'm just like, no, are we there yet? Can you speed this up? So that was 12 hours. And an hour and a half layover in Tokyo. I really want to talk about, the feeling that I had when I landed in Tokyo. We'll get to that. But hour and a half layover in Tokyo. And then I went from Tokyo to Osaka, and then from Osaka to Naha. So roughly 26 hours, give or take, travel time.
Time difference and all.
Yeah.
So, fam, if you're just joining us, welcome. We are speaking with Chef Sebeq on his expedition, I'm going to say, to Okinawa, Japan. And on top of that, while being vegan, we know that, or if you don't know, Okinawa is one of the blue zones, and it's known as the region where they have the highest number of centenarians, living the longest, and really living, not just a centenarian, living, thriving. And so I'm super excited to just delve into, well, Chef and I have spoken. Don't think we get on the phone and I know everything he's about to say, because I sure don't. So I'm as excited and anticipating this conversation as you might be. So please share your questions, any thoughts as he shares, and tell us if you visited Japan, Okinawa, or where you want to go and travel, and let's get this conversation. We like to be engaged. So thank you for coming in. So, Chef, how do you want to do this? How do you want to start? Like, you landed, you're probably exhausted, you're
Yeah.
in an airport. Kind of start us on, like, take us as if you were writing in your journal about this trip. Maybe that sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the sense of relief that I felt when the wheels took off from Chicago, it was like, you're gone, you're away. And yeah, 12-hour stretch. And then I remember waking up and I knew at home it was like around 3 a.m. in the morning, but it was 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. in Tokyo. So I'm like looking down and I'm like, wow, this city is huge. And I just remember landing there and the excitement in my body was just
Oh,
absolutely amazing. I remember walking, there was like this long hallway that took us to immigration and customs and those things. And I just felt at home. There was this sense of peace there. Um, no one was in a rush. No one was in a rush. Everyone was just, you know, we're here. And there's me. I'm like, okay, logistically, okay, it's an hour and a half. I have to get through immigrations. I have to get to another terminal. I gotta go. Uh, but there was just something within me that was just like, slow down. When in Japan, do as they do, right? So I started to just take my time and I just eased my way into immigration. I did my QR code so I didn't have to wait through the line. Shout out to our dear friend Brandon. He was a huge help and just giving me some pointers and some tips on what to do and what not to do when coming to Japan.
yeah.
But anyways, got through customs and that was every bit of 15 minutes. It was super efficient. Everyone was really nice. And once I got through customs, went back through Terminal 1 and I rechecked my bags. And I just remember thinking like, okay, like I don't even know where I'm going. So I'm like looking around and then a random man just stopped and said, "It looks like you're going to Terminal 2." And I looked at my plane ticket and I said, how did you know that?" And I said that in my mind, of course. And I was like, "Actually, yes, I am." He was like, "Follow me. I'll show you because that's where I'm going too." So it was just being supported in all areas. Like all my wants, all my needs were fulfilled in every moment. And yeah, so I made it through and made it to the other terminal, Terminal 2, was sitting there and just taking it all in. I was super jet lagged, tired. I'm like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna get to Naha? Because I need a nap, I need a shower, and I need some coconut water because I was extremely dehydrated. So yeah, made it to the terminal two. We boarded the plane to Osaka. We finally got to Osaka. And then I'm like, yes, the final stretch. We're finally at a space where I can say, okay, I can see the finish line. That was like an hour and a half flight. And that's when they started talking about, well, we're going to have to start delaying flights and, it's not really safe. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I just sat still. I just got really quiet because usually I'm like, okay, trying to figure things out. Okay, I'm in Osaka. I've never been here. I need to figure out a hotel. And I just took a second to pause. I began to breathe. And 15 minutes later, they made an announcement and said, we're going to go ahead and board the plane. And I'm like, oh, good. Like, finally, we're going to get to be on our way. We get on the plane. Everyone's boarded, seatbelts are fastened. They've gone through the whole nine of, the safety features of the plane and everything. They make another announcement, and this in Japanese, so I can't understand it. And so I'm just looking at the expression of everyone else. I'm like, oh my gosh, so like we're taking off, and no one was smiling. I was like, oh, what's happening? And they said, oh well, it's going to be it's not safe for us to take off right now due to the weather. And so we sat there for another 45 minutes. And at that point, Chef, I was just like, whatever happens, happens. I, I was just there, like, okay, you know, if I came all the way to Japan to meet the maker, so be it, So I was just there, and I sat there and I began to breathe, and I was just like, you know what, I'm at peace with whatever happens right now. Uh, and Another 15 minutes. The plane's starting to, prepare for takeoff. And finally, I slept from Osaka to Naha. That was like an hour and a half flight, and finally landed in Naha uh, at almost midnight. The airport was actually closed. We were the last flight of the night. So yeah, that was just like a little timeline from like traveling from Chicago to uh, to Naha, which is Okinawa. Yeah.
So, how was the food on the plane? Do you order vegan meals or do you just carry? I mean, that's a long time. You had to take
Yeah,
something or be ready.
absolutely. So, me being me, I always prepare a little something to take. But I also let the flight line United. I flew United
Mhm.
from Chicago to Tokyo. I let them know that I was vegan, and I was surprised to know that they had some really good options. Some things where I'm like, okay, we are vegan and we are in the age of technology. I need y'all to go ahead and Google some of our recipes so that I can, spruce it up a little bit. But I was proud to know that they really take care of the vegans, and they had things for the gluten-free vegans. I was like, wow, like welcome to the future. Because growing
Yeah.
up vegan, like you have to have your food prepared and stashed away. Because once you leave home, you're not sure if you're going to be able to eat anything past fruit. And it was so interesting, and I'm sure we're going to get into this next. I was prepared to be raw vegan while in Okinawa because I was doing my research and I couldn't find many vegan restaurants.
Ah.
Yeah,
So you couldn't find many vegan restaurants, but you got there, and from following your travels, it
yeah,
must have been like you landed in a gem mine of vegan restaurants. So what was the first? I mean, you get
right.
there, you get landed, you get settled, and
Yeah,
then where did you find your first meal or how did that look? And then let's start weaving through your
yeah.
restaurants
Oh
and
my
other
goodness.
things you did, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So, uh, I have to give a shout out to my brother. He is the planner of all planners. He was like, "Oh, I have a whole list of vegan restaurants here that we should try out." So the first one he had on the list was Rotan, And that's the video I did when I first landed there. Hey, after 26 hours of traveling, I finally landed in Okinawa. And I went to their Instagram page and I was just like, why? Why aren't they really advertising themselves as, a vegan cafe or at least having vegan options? Because to my knowledge, everything on the menu is vegan plant-based.
Oh,
And I began to scroll and I'm like, wow, like people need to know about this. More people. And I just pulled up my phone and do what I do and started recording and I was experiencing some jet lag. So that next morning or night, I was in my room, I was editing and just layering things on top of each other. Cause I'm like, yeah, like people need to know about this delicious restaurant right here. So let me go ahead and put together a little video and see what I can do. So I posted it and that was like the snowball effect because people started to reach out. They're like, "Oh my goodness, can we bring you some products?" A meal prep company reached out to me. Some dear friends, now dear friends, reached out and were like, "Hey, can we take you out to dinner?" Had a great experience with that. But before we get into that, yeah, went to Rotan, experienced that. The food, amazing. It was so clean tasting, the ingredients. It was very satiating. Um, yeah, even with it being like a meat alternative like seitan and rice and pasta, it wasn't heavy at all. And
mm.
I'm a very conscious eater here in the States, because I like to, feel good and I'm a very active person, so I fuel my body with good things. So I probably would have gained a lot of weight here eating that in the States. But I realized after eating all that food, everything that you see that I posted, I ate all of that and then some. There were some places I went that I just couldn't record because I'm like, I have to be in the moment. And I lost two
Yes.
pounds. So I was just like, okay. So there was that. But yeah, before I get so lost in the sauce, let's take a break in.
Yeah,
Let's
you
take a
already
moment.
know. You're trying to co-host. I'm trying to let you do your thing. Ashley, I agree with you. I think everybody would say the same. The food that Chef was sharing with us, and not just the food, this journey, I felt personally like I was almost there in his pocket, living vicariously through him. So I definitely agree. And I think others could attest to we were just, it was mouth watering when you see food through the screen and you just want to be able to grab it. My thing about wanting to be able to get food with all this technology, why can't we smell it? Why can't we just take it, from you? I don't know, there'd be a lot of hands grabbing your food. But what you bring up a good point, and you said something that made me think, what would you say? And then you'll get into more about what would you say if it was the difference in vegan food in Okinawa, Japan, everybody, where if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Chef Sebeq, my co-host, and his travels to Okinawa, Japan, one of the blue zones where the longest lived people live. Would you say you were able to really say, wow, this is the way they cook, the techniques and all? Would you say there
Yeah.
was a stark difference?
There was a slight difference, but one thing that I could tell immediately was the love, the vibratory rate of the people while they're preparing the food. They're taking their time. Literally, no one there is rushing.
Yeah.
No one is rushing. You could wait for your food for 20 to 25 minutes, but while you're waiting, you're having conversation, you're having tea, you're having coffee, you're having water. So
Mm.
immediately, the first spot that I went to, you just notice, oh, the love is here. The love is here in the food. So that was definitely the most noticeable thing.
And it makes me think Okinawa, and not everybody in Okinawa lives the blue zones life,
Yeah,
but you
of
have the
course.
principle of plant slant. So they already eat a lot of plants, even though they've got fish and maybe some pork that's a little bit more off. But that whole thing about being in the moment, because when
Hmm.
you talk about the Power Nine principles of a blue zone to live longer, it's not just the food, it's purpose, ikigai. What do you get up for in the morning? It's belonging, having a sense of belonging. It's the right tribe. And I don't know, watching you while you were there, I really was looking at, because I work with the Blue Zones, I was really looking at those principles and seeing that lifestyle. Like, Americans, whenever I travel out of the country, I'm sure you get this, we have to kind of shift down because unless you go to a major city, that I'm
Yeah,
talking about, well, Japan is major. You just get a sense of slow your roll, like slow down. That song always comes in my head, slow down, you move too fast. And so that really allows you to enjoy your meal, not feel rushed. Did you feel that way?
yeah, I definitely felt like that. Just go with the flow, take your time. Like there was no sense of time there at all. So much
Yeah.
so I would look up and it's like 8 o'clock and I'm like, wow, okay,
Wow.
cool. And then proceed with my day.
And how many restaurants would you say you went to? Because I think you also said there were a couple that you were like, okay, I'm coming back.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
okay, so how many did you go to? What was the determining factor that you were like, okay, I'm coming back here?
So, oh my goodness. I went to about 9 or 10 restaurants. I think I did 6 videos.
Okay.
Uh, and I went back to two. And the first one I had to go back to was We Are Vegan. If you go back to the videos that I made, it's me eating this gluten-free vegan mac and cheese, and that
I
was
remember.
such a spiritual experience. I'm a very expressive person when I'm eating, when I'm cooking. I just can't hide how I feel. And in the video, you can see that I'm thoroughly enjoying the food. It was amazing. Um, the people that were there, the owners, they were just so nice and accommodating and smiling, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, wow. So that had to be a place I returned to, and I that was actually the day before I left. I just had to make a stop there just to say, I'll see you later. It's not a goodbye. I'll see you later, sooner than later. And yeah, the food, it was really fresh. I feel like you could get whatever you're looking for there. You could get a sandwich. You could get the mac and cheese. You can get a plate of food that's going to fill you and make you feel nice and satiated. You can get the tea, the coffee that's available. So I just enjoyed how broad the menu was. That's why I chose to go back there.
So I don't typically think of mac and cheese as a Japanese dish. Did you feel that the menus, for the most part, were catered to Americans or more European diet? And I know you say, as we all do, most of us, my mac and cheese. So, so if you were ready to go back for that mac and cheese, what made it so good? But first, did you feel like many of the menus were catered to a more American type of menu, or and other Italian, whatever?
Yeah.
And what made that mac and cheese so good that you were like, I'll go back when you are the mac
Mm.
and cheese of mac and cheese vegan men?
Oh my goodness. Wow. So to answer your first question, hmm, what was the first question? I got lost
Did
in the
you
sauce for a
feel
second.
like the menus were catered to an American? I mean, mac and cheese is not
Right.
typically,
Yeah.
unless I just am out of it, a Japanese dish that
Right.
you think about. So did you feel the menus were, they had enough Americans come that they were kind of catering to that palate?
Well, I mean, yeah, yes and no. They had some things that was like, okay, a cheeseburger, but the ingredients and how they prepared it was definitely their style.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
made from the cleanest ingredients, like soy curls, TVP. Like they're actually back there preparing the things. It's not made in like a lab or a factory. So that was one of the things that I noticed. And for the mac and cheese that made it so memorable was I think the sauce was like a sweet potato base. So
That got you.
it was just different.
Yeah.
I couldn't really put my finger on it. It was savory, it was warm, it reminded me of like a fall day. Like, huh, this is just good. I can't put my finger. And the fact that the pasta was gluten free and I couldn't tell. Like the texture, the cook on the pasta was chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. So that's what made it like, oh wow, because I in my mind I was already expecting like, okay, because I've
Yeah.
had some vegan mac and cheeses, just growing up vegan, the silken tofu, the nutritional yeast with the carrots and potatoes. I've had some very interesting things that have been called mac and cheese. So I was, definitely had an open mind. But when I tasted it, I was like, oh yeah, they have something here for sure.
It sounds delicious. What was the most Japanese dish you had, or a dish you were like, oh, I've not had this before, and maybe even had to ask what it was?
Two things. I'll give you the best, and not the best dish that I've had, but the best, Japanese dish that I
Yeah.
had. And the one that definitely was an acquired taste.
Okay.
And I'll start with the acquired taste, of course. So I went to this vegan spot. It was like a vegan buffet, and it was just centered around how the true Blue Zone Okinawans eat. Like it was super clean.
Mm.
It was the bitter melon. The
Oh,
bitter,
yes.
the bitter
It's
melon. I,
bitter.
yeah, I took a video because I was just like documenting my experience, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, it looks great. It looks like a squash. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. And my brother's like, all right, I would just take a little pinch. And I'm like, oh, how bad can it be? I took a whole big bite of it, and let's just say it definitely woke me up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very
It's
bitter.
right.
How did they prepare it though?
Oh, they
'Cause-
prepared it. I think they sauteed it and then
okay,
they tossed
okay.
it in like a garlic olive
Uh,
oil sauce. Yeah, it was very
it's
interesting for sure.
It's so good for the digestive system and reported to be very good for, I mean, if you're good for the digestive system, you're going to be good for the skin. But a lot of people, it's gone through its trends of eating bitter melon, to clear skin problems and such. So that's brave. That's brave. Okay.
For sure. And the thing that I had out there that, of course, if you go to Japan, you need to experience authentic ramen. The
Mm,
ramen
mm.
there, oh my goodness, amazing. The best ramen was at Gajimaru.
Okay.
And it was their top seller. It's on the front page of the menu, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take one of those. So yeah, that was definitely that thing that. Oh yeah. Hmm.
And then once you got your bearing, and we'll weave back, what were some of the non-food, once you got satiated, what were some of the non-food things you did that you just have such fond memories of, or you were surprised or not when you got to Okinawa?
Uh, Driving there,
Oh,
driving was one of the things that just really. I just had to kind of rewire my brain because everything is opposite.
oh yes.
Uh,
At
but
least
that
you
was
didn't
fun.
have to drive.
Well, I did. I
Oh,
did
you did
drive.
drive. You rented a car? Oh, you're
Well,
bold.
I had a car
You're
there. Yeah,
bold.
yeah, my brother's car. He was like, "Yeah, take the keys, drive," and I'm like,
Okay.
"Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I'll drive." And I just remember thinking to myself, "What did I sign myself up for?" Because it's not like regular roads that we're used to here in the States. It's like going zigzag around the mountain, and I'm like, oh wow. And people are just driving freely and doing that on the opposite side of the road and just trying to figure everything out. The signal, it was just a lot. So that was one of the things. Yeah, just the air there. The air, the quality of
Mm.
air.
Yeah.
Yeah, was amazing.
Real noticeable.
Really noticeable for sure.
What are some of the tips, Fam? If you're, I didn't see anybody that says they've been to Japan yet or Okinawa, but let's do, from what you've experienced, what you've learned, what would you do differently the next time you go, and what tips would you share with us as far as one, why we should want to go to Okinawa, and two, what would be things you'll do differently when you go back? Because I
Mhm.
trust you're going back. I don't know.
soon, very soon.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, what would I do differently? I would just be more mindful and check the airport codes because on the way back, unbeknownst to me, I flew into Tokyo and not the flight attendant, but the representative at the counter was like, "Hey, so you're flying out of Narita." And I flew into Haneda, which is they're like an hour and a half to from each other. And I was like, "No, no, 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 it's definitely an error." And came to realize that it was no error. So, just being really intentional and just looking at those airport codes. But I can't say there would be too much I would do differently. Uh, I would pack less.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was gonna ask that. Yeah, pack less.
pack less and stay longer.
Mhm.
Stay 2 weeks was not a long enough for me at all.
Okay.
Yeah, just to truly experience the island. Yeah, 2 weeks was not enough. Yeah.
And what are three food items you'd make sure you pack to go through the travel of the 26 hours? What would you make sure,
Ooh.
tell us, have in your bag that we could take?
Okay, so air fried potatoes or roasted potatoes of any kind because that's gonna
Yeah.
keep you full. Uh, some type of peanut butter and crackers. That did the trick for me. And something sweet. You just want something sweet on the flight. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went to visit one of the local bakeries here. The other plate, she has these amazing lemon cookies. And yeah, I stocked up on a few of those and I had that and I was good to go. Those are
Yeah.
my three things that I would have when traveling on a long flight like that. And I will do it
It's
again. I'm going to do it again.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And you said you went to six restaurants. So they're all on Instagram. So you want to give them a shout out and tell us, maybe one thing about each of them that would make us also put them on our list. So we already know because you had to go
yeah,
there and your brother, thank you,
yeah,
brother, for being so
yes,
organized and having it laid out for him. But we've got Happy Cow
yeah,
and some others. But what would be our review? What
yeah,
would be, if you're comfortable, of
yeah,
the six? Give us the
yeah.
top.
Ooh,
Oh, I don't know if you're comfortable.
okay. So
I don't
this
want to
is
put you on. They're watching,
yeah,
but in fun. You could do there's two
yeah.
top ones, however you do it or not.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is not going to be in any order because I truly believe I enjoyed every restaurant and cafe for what they
Okay.
offered.
Okay.
They had a vibe of its own. So it's like comparing a tomato to an orange. You
Yeah.
you
Okay.
can't
That's
really do
fair.
it. So, but I will say, and I'll just speak about them in the rank that I went to them. So Rotan was like that cafe that you go to with a friend and you're either on the way to the beach or you're on the way back. You need something not quick, but something that's going to, make you feel good and energized. The acai bowl, that dragon fruit smoothie bowl, that's what it was.
Mm.
10 out of 10. Uh, that was probably the most memorable thing. Oh, and the French toast. That French toast was amazing. You can
I
go back in
remember
the
seeing
video.
the French toast.
Yeah, that French toast was legendary. It was good. I would
Again.
highly recommend going there just for the French toast and you tell them that I sent you. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I might meet you there. I don't know. Ooh, how about that?
I
Rotan,
love it.
definitely the French toast and the dragon fruit smoothie bowl. And then next we have, where did I go to next? It might have been Birthplace Cafe.
First place.
And whew, I experienced, well, I enjoyed Birthplace Cafe because right next door is a health food store. Actually, there's a hall that connects them. Two different restaurants or two different establishments, but they're connected. And I just really appreciated that because after you're done grocery shopping, I don't know about anyone else. I don't want to cook. So it was nice to be able to walk over and you see that they have like from like 11 to 3 they have a buffet and they have loads of vegan options and then they have just things that you can order past the 3 o'clock hour. up until like 7. One of the best things that I had there, this the Sri Lankan curry. Oh my
Oh.
gosh, that was amazing. My mouth is watering right now. And then they have this pizza there that was amazing. It was like a cashew mozzarella, and then they
Mm.
had, of course, they had the red sauce, and then they did like it appeared to be like a tempeh crumble, and then they went heavy on the oregano. They went heavy on the thyme, and what was the other spice that was really prominent? Definitely was a lot of garlic and basil in there. It was just really herbaceous. I loved it. Uh, so that was the Birthplace Cafe. And then after that, went to Gajimiru. Gajimiru was just like one of those experiences where you walk in and you're just in another world. Like the atmosphere was just like, yeah, you've arrived at the beach. That's what it feels like. That ramen
Oh,
definitely did it for me. And the tomato bruschetta, that was chef's kiss. You can definitely see that in the video. I enjoyed that. And hmm, I think that that would be the most memorable things there that I would recommend, like the must have.
okay.
And then next up, we go to We Are Vegan. Oh my gosh, everything I had there, everything that I had at We Are Vegan was amazing.
Uh,
And my brother and I, we ordered maybe 6 to 8 things off of the menu. And I'm talking entrees. And we ate it all. We had no leftovers
in one sitting.
in one sitting. And I'm not
I'm not judging. I'm
I'm
just
not ashamed to
listening.
say
And
it.
Plant Foods Cafe is saying everything sounds delicious. I'm just listening, and I'm getting hungry at this.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing there that I would order again was the chili crisp sandwich, and it was like a fried seitan,
Okay.
but then we tossed it in the sauce that was just so, it was sweet, it was savory. My mouth is watering just talking about it. It had a little a heat to it, a little kick,
Yeah.
but it
Chili
wasn't
crisp. Yeah.
overbearing.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, yeah, so that's we are vegan. Next up we go to the Blue Point Falafel Cafe. That was amazing. Some of the best falafel I've had ever. And I love falafel. That's one of my favorite things ever. So just going there to experience that, they had a really good acai bowl, everything fresh. They have a granola that they also sell that I had to bring a bag back with me because I'm like, I can't leave this behind. I know it's gonna run out eventually, but I just need to savor it a little while longer. And I wish I would have grabbed two because it's gone now. So yeah, that's the Blue Point. And then there's one that I'm leaving out. Ah, my mind's trying to blank. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but yeah, all of the spots are worth visiting. You know,
Okay.
that's one thing about me. If I'm not a fan of it, then I'm just not going to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's fair.
if I am a fan, then I'm letting the people know because
I love it.
I feel like, you know, the followers and the fam that we have, they're our community. So you
Yeah.
find something good, you got to
I
let the
want to
family
share it.
know. Yeah, absolutely.
No gatekeepers here.
No gatekeepers, absolutely not. I want everyone. I just wanted to pack everyone in my suitcase. And that's why I was recording the videos. I was so enthusiastic because I'm like, man, I wish my fam could be here. I wish you could be here. I wish everyone could experience this. And I just would walk into the restaurant and I'm like, yep, right there. I could see us hosting like a tasting there.
Mm.
I could just see that. I could see it like a group of people there. We're talking, we're having conversations about, you know, the blue zones and just the history of Okinawa and eating some really good food because that's one thing that I was just thoroughly shocked. I was prepared to be raw vegan and to be greeted with all of these restaurants.
I see, as you know, we're such visual manifestors. I see a plantish live in Okinawa and you leading the tour and taking us to all your favorite spots so we can
Absolutely.
live a little bit of what you experienced and then even explore more. Now that you're back and you say you're just, kind of feeling, because you were traveling through, as I talk about the cosmic weather, there were a lot of things going on and I won't get into that. But so how do you feel now? What are some of the key reflections that you've had? And what would you say to anybody that's sitting that would go, oh, that seems so far. I don't know anybody. Who's that? I'm just here for the
Oh,
smiles, really.
Kiki.
Thank you for being here. It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. So we're getting our facial exercise on here because my cheeks right now feel like I've done a whole bunch of push-ups. But I rather smile than frown. So thank you for that comment to Chef. And I believe so. What would be some of your just thoughts about don't be afraid to travel, don't be afraid to go alone, don't be
Yeah,
afraid to step out into the unknown?
absolutely. Yeah, one of my biggest takeaways is, whatever you're carrying, you're going to be met with that. If you travel with fear, you're going to be met with fear. If you travel with abundance, you're going to be met with abundance. So, which is really important for me to be mindful of the things that I was entertaining in my mind, um, because I was provided for in every way. Help showed up, translated everything that I could have wanted or needed was right there when I needed it. So it was just an opportunity for me to say, hey, like the less you know is sometimes better,
Yes.
because sometimes if you know too much, then it's like having too many things. Then it becomes like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. It's too many things. But if you know just enough, then you have those things around you so you can use them and then discard them when you no longer need them and continue, continue to walk. So, yeah, that was one of my biggest takeaways. Not clinging on to anything, no experience, no place. Uh, yeah, and just remembering to slow down. That I think that was probably the biggest one of all. Just slowing down and just being compassionate. They're very, very, very compassionate people there in Okinawa, Japan. If you're driving, if you have on your blinkers, they're not
Mhm.
speeding up and cutting you off. They're slowing down and they're letting you in. And I'm like, wow, amazing, it's beautiful. Yeah.
And did you feel like, I think that's so beautiful because I'm going to say something because I want it, what I'm hearing, this kind of thread line. Did you move naturally? Did you feel like you didn't miss out on your workout and you were able to maybe walk more or do things not so much that, it was how did your, I don't want to say, how did your movement, your workout change, if it did, or did it stay the same?
Oh no, it was the same. I was
Okay. Okay.
active every day because you're walking more.
Yeah.
I remember one of the vegan restaurants that we went to, we had to hike up a hill. We walked almost a quarter of a mile,
Wow.
and I was like, wait, I'm winded. So like we finally get to the top of the hill and the restaurant's there and you have to go up these stairs. And I'm like, oh my goodness, so another workout. So yes, I closed all of my rings here. I wear my watch, my fitness watch here. And yeah, the rings were closed every day.
I
Yeah.
love that. When we talk about Okinawa, Japan, and then there's five others that are recognized as blue zones where longest lived people. I just want to go through the power nine because I think you hit them all. One, you move naturally. So your exercise, but the walking, it was like walk for your food, right?
Mhm.
And then a sense of purpose. Ikigai, what do we get up for in the morning? Having that sense of purpose. And I'm not, and I'm bringing this out because it's not like, oh, these nine principles, were given or said, oh, this is what they do. It's that this is what they've been doing. So if you really want longevity, it's not just what's on our plate, but again, it's that natural moving. So we're not dictating that you got to go in the gym. You just need to walk. You need to move. You need to jump. You need to dance. You've got the purpose, ikigai, or, what am I getting up for? Downshifting. You certainly had to downshift. That's
Absolutely.
one of the ones. And then I'm going to bring this one up. There's another one, Harahachi-bu, they talk about, but through all of them, recognizing when you're 80% full. Did you at any point with those six dishes say, oh, I'm full and I'm going to pull back and we're going to take this home? Because that's a big thing about recognizing. And I don't think as Americans or any
Yeah.
society that eats fast really is dialed into that 80-20. Did you notice anything, or when you came back, you said you lost weight?
Yeah.
Uh, would you
Well,
tap into that one, or would you go, no, I maybe need to think more about that?
no, I definitely tapped into it, but that's something that I practice home.
Yeah.
When I'm there and experiencing, that good food, I'm like, mindful, yes. And I do recognize that I could stop here, but why stop?
Right. When you're also eating food that is really good for you, that isn't,
Yeah.
causing so much. I mean, we got to be mindful of the sweets, but okay, fam, I just want you to tap in because we can bring a bit of Chef Sesabek's experience in Okinawa, into our life until we get there, or any of the other blue zones. Plant slant, we know all of these regions eat a lot of plants. They're not necessarily vegan, but obviously you can survive vegan. We know that. And Loma Linda, California is the only blue zones in the United States, and they're vegetarian and many vegan because I've worked intensely with them. And then the right tribe. It sounds like you found your right tribe. Of course, you had your brother. That's already your
Yes.
right tribe. But what I saw through your sharing, that you found a tribe that is there, and some didn't want you to leave.
Oh my goodness, yes, yes, yes. It was just so organic. It was like a magnet. It's like you come close to someone that is aligned and it's like click, click, click. Yes. So it was definitely the tribe there. And they will
And
be
you
there. What's that?
And did you feel be like you found belonging? You felt received? I mean, you're an American, so already when we travel, people might raise a brow, but
Yeah.
did you find you felt belonging there?
Oh, absolutely. There were some mornings I woke up, I was like, huh, life is good. And I felt like I was a citizen. I'm like, huh, okay, so what's going on today? Let's check the
Yeah,
news. Like,
yeah.
I just felt like I was there. So yeah, I belonged and yeah, felt so comfortable and at ease.
There's another one they talk about wine at 5, but Loma Linda, they abstain from drinking, so it doesn't mean, but it's like getting together at a specific time,
Yeah,
to get with, I would say, your right tribe, but
yeah,
that connection. And did you feel you found that?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. There were plenty of laughs and conversations around tea and coffee and matcha for
My
sure.
love. And I think the most important one in the Power Nine that just conceptually we're talking about, since you did go to a Blue Zones area, is loved ones first. And you had your brother there. So I think that was the tip top, and that connection of being able to hang out with your brother and, all of that. How did that feel?
Well, it felt amazing. We connected on a level that I don't think we've ever been able to connect on. Just sharing lifestyle and me stepping into this world and also packing up some of my world and taking it over there and just leaving that impression while also taking the impression that was left on me. It was beautiful. And not to mention all the people that I was able to connect with over there that showed me that love in the community was so amazing.
Well, I know we're used to doing this on Tuesdays, fam. Chef Sesabek and I, are co-hosts for Plantish Live. We show up Tuesdays, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but he moved seats a little bit. So I thank you for sharing, your feelings, your thoughts, your mindset while there. And now that you're back, we missed you. So we're glad you're back. I'll say I missed you, but I know
Oh,
others
me
missed
too.
you.
Yes.
And we can't wait for you to let us know when you're going again, if we're going to make this a tribal move and you have all your friends. It's so wonderful when I travel to have
Yeah.
friends internationally. And then as you spoke about the food, it just seemed like there was, yes, you go to Japan and have Japanese food, yes, but it was another extension of greeting us, as so many places do so graciously to share us or infuse, yes, maybe Japanese food into what we might be a burger, mac and cheese in Okinawa. I mean, that should be a t-shirt. I think you should make a t-shirt. I have mac and cheese in Okinawa. And
Yeah.
somebody's gonna buy that t-shirt because they're gonna be able to relate. So I thank you for your time because I
Yes.
know what it takes to settle back in. If we ever do, because we're never the same, we never step in the same river twice, right?
Absolutely.
So it
Absolutely.
has to change us. But
Absolutely.
yeah. Why don't you leave us with any parting words and close us out? And I'm putting you back in your co-host hat. But fam, if you've enjoyed this, please, we'll put the replay up as we do. We'll list for any of you that are watching the replay. I'll get Chef to give me all of the restaurants and their IG so we can support them and say hello and, say Chef Sebeq sent us. Let's just create this swarm of greeting and connecting in Japan so you already have a connection if you ever decide to go. I think that is how we can use social media in such a powerful way, a positive way. And, we used to write, now I'm about to age myself, we used to have pen pals. And we would be writing these letters,
Yeah.
just like we knew each other. This is just a new day pen pal to me, but I love it. So we can all do such great things and positive things in a world that we know a lot is going on. And Chef, I'm going to let you close us out. And thank you again for sharing your
Of
insights.
course. Chef, thank you so much for, putting me in the green seat. This was such an amazing time, as always. Parting words for our fam here. If you haven't been to Okinawa, go ahead and book that flight. You won't regret it. It's life-changing. Uh, yes, just remember to take that leap, whatever it is. Do it. That's all I got. Just do it. Just do it. Figure it out later, but just do it. Feel from the heart. And yeah, everything will work out.
Thank you, Chef. I have no more to say. Fam, we'll be back next Tuesday, same place, same time. We will put the replay up if you want to watch it again, or if you haven't had a chance, you didn't get to join us live. And I love strings. Japan is incredible. Truth. Wonderful. Yes, you have to share. When did you go and what area did you travel to? If you don't mind sharing with us, because I think Japan is definitely on my list. I've been to China, and that's a whole different world. Thank you. Thank you. Great interview. Planted Foods. Planted Foods just recently launched, opened in Sacramento, California. I don't care where you're at in the world. Please connect with them. That's Planted Foods you see right there. And they are offering ready to eat on the go, no convenience, all, compatible with what you might want to eat. You don't have to be vegan. She's got a Sammy sandwich. You can say, I told you so, to get up in there. Okay, thank you. In the late 90s, Tokyo, Shimoda, Yokohama. Wonderful. Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. I think it's almost time to go back and visit Okinawa, right?
Absolutely. Put it at the top of the list.
All right, fam. We thank you. You could be anywhere and you took the time to join us. You might be cooking, you might be doing some work and just, checking us out and nobody knows you're listening with your iPods. And we thank you for being here. We will be back next Tuesday, Thank you again, Chef. You are a gem in our community, and we so appreciate you stepping out into the unknown so we know that we can do it. And we'll see you again, fam. Watch
So
for the
much.
repost. See you
Yes.
soon.
Bye. Happy Tuesday.
Bye.